Good morning, Facebook, and good morning, Zoom. So, as usual, make your way into a comfortable seat with your hands. Turn your thighs in and draw the flesh of the buttocks slightly out. Take the fingertips down on the ground beside you. And as you lightly push down, fingertips lengthen the sides of the torso and lightly move the top of the upper arm bones back. Keep the lift and place your hands up or down on your legs. This is a full moon tonight into tomorrow. The full moon day in the lunar calendar starts actually while we're practicing. And this particular full moon is special in that it is the full moon that recognizes the birth, death, and enlightenment of the Buddha. And also many other people from various traditions have connections to this moon, birth dates or death dates around this time. So it's a particularly significant moment for practice in those ways. The full moon, as I reference often, is an opportunity to remember a core teaching in the tantric tradition, and that is that we, right now, without any effort, are completely whole, full, complete, and perfect in that way. And the full moon is complete, full, whole, and yet at various times, as you know, through the month, the ability to see the moon in the fullness is obscured. And that's often also the way it's described, the way embodiment is described, that as a consequence of receiving a body, our ability to contact our innate wholeness and completeness is somewhat obscured. I had a realization the other day, and this is a very realization, and so it may or may not have weight for you, but I'm going to share it anyway. And I had a realization that in moments when I am not in touch with my wholeness or my completeness, I look outside for information. I sign up for courses and then I start the courses and I realize that that it's often I already know, but I haven't accessed, and that in those moments of feeling disconnected from my sense of wholeness or completeness, the invitation in the tradition is always to not look outside, but to turn around and look inside. So in the moments of lack, when my natural temptation is to look outward and try to find something that I'm missing, the intention is to make sure that we turn inward. So I'm seeing on Zoom that people are not able to see me. I've spotlighted the video. Does that help? Can you see me now? Well, if you can hear me, we'll keep going, and hopefully video capacity will go back. It looks on my end like the video camera's on and everything is working from my side. So hopefully that will continue to work on your end. Oh, good. I think it's working. Okay, so intention of using our practice as a moment to turn forward and to access and acknowledge the wholeness, the completeness, and the resources, the wisdom that we have within. Close your eyes. So, with the eyes closed, there's a reminder that the resources, in any moment, the resources that we are looking for are inside. That doesn't mean that occasionally we don't need to access skills in the external world, but that the richness of knowledge, and also that the impulse toward external resources comes from the connection to our wholeness, as opposed to perceived lack or incompleteness. So with the eyes closed, bring your attention more fully to the breath and use the contact with the breath to trace the breath from the nostrils down and into the body. Connect your mind to the breath and to the body. And feel into the space, the center of you. So that's centered midway between a point on the base of the pelvis and a point about a foot above the crown of the head. And centered front to back and side to side. As you feel into that space, somewhere in the middle of the chest, trace it back slightly so that you find the back end of that center. In the yogic conceptualization, this is often referred to as the cave of the heart. And so we want to bring our attention the back of the cave of the heart. It's a little closer to the anatomical spine than to the front of the chest. And just for a moment or two, hold your attention there, building awareness of this particular spot in the body that is always full, complete, and perfect. Just like the full moon. And realizing that and staying connected to that is the core part of our practice. With your next exhalation, join your hands in front of that so that where the thumbs touch the chest, it's a rough approximation of where you feel your center. Soften the jaw and the eyes. And then imagining that the sound Om comes from the cave of the heart. We'll chant Om together once. Take a deep breath in. And gently bow your head over to your heart. Pause there for a moment. Release your hands down. Lift your head up. If you're sitting cross-legged, you're simply going to change the cross of your legs. If you're sitting on your heels or in between your heels, then come into a cross-legged position. So depending on your body, you might want to sit on a bit of height. But as you come into Sukhasana, simple cross-legged position, have the knees a little closer together, feet a little wider apart, and then with your hands, turn your thighs in. We're going to do a side bend and a twist here. So take the right hand down by your right hip. Inhale, stretch the left arm alongside the left ear. Lengthen all the way up along the left side of the body. And exhale, walk the right hand out to the right and lean over. Ground your left sitting bone down. Draw the right shoulder blade away from your right ear. And then trace the breath along the left side of the torso. Inhale from the top of the pelvis to the left armpit. Exhale. Two more breaths. And then inhale, come up. Exhale, that hand down. Left hand by your left hip. Inhale, right arm up. Lengthen all the way up along the right side of the torso. And then walk your left hand out to the left. Turn the tricep of the right arm more toward the face. Ground your right hip. And now lengthen from your right hip to your right armpit and breathe into that space. Consider that the work in the pose and your connection with the body shape in each asana is to recognize the wholeness, the completeness that you are, and not to strive for something from a perception of lack or completeness. Inhale, bring the arm up, exhale down. If you were sitting between your heels, and now you're sitting with the legs crossed, change the cross of the legs. But for those of you that were sitting with the legs for the opening, stay in this shape. So from here we'll twist. Take the right hand behind you. Hold the right knee with the left hand. Inhale, lengthen along the left side of the torso, so just like you did in the side bend. And now as you exhale, twist the torso to the right. Take your right hand and hold your left ribs for a moment. And then as you exhale, use your hand to help turn the left side of the rib cage to the right. Bring the hand down more in the line of the navel, so in the soft tissue at the side of the waist. And then as you exhale again, twist the side of the waist to the right. Then put your right hand behind you. Curl the center of the heart up. Lift the chin just slightly and twist the head all the way around to the right. Turn the gaze to the right. Inhale, come back to center. Exhale the other side. So left hand behind you, right hand holds the left knee. Inhale, lengthen the right side of the torso, and as you exhale, twist the right side of the torso around to the left. Now we'll use our hands to encourage that a little more fully. So left hand to the right side of the rib cage. Draw it up, and then as you exhale, draw it around more deeply to the left. Take the hand in line with the navel on the side of the torso, and on your next exhale, draw that around to the left. Place the left hand behind you. Twist more deeply. Take the head back a little bit. Turn the head. Lift the heart slightly lift the chin. Take one whole full breath here. And then inhale back to center. Exhale. Stretch both legs out straight. So here again, if when you're sitting with the legs out straight, the lower back rolls back toward the floor behind you, or because it's the beginning of the practice, you could sit up on a bit of height. I think I will. So we're going to do a series of hip positions with and some twists. So this is the beginning of the practice, so you want to go work in a way that makes sense for your body. So bend your right knee. Take your left hand over the top of the foot. Catch the baby toe side of the right foot. Place the right hand down at your side. Lift the right leg up and stretch it straighter. So some of you might go all the way straight, some of you not. It's fine. Now take the leg over to the right for a moment, as much as possible. Drop the left shoulder blade. Press out through the big toe side of the right foot. Bring the right leg back to center. Lower it down so your left arm is parallel to the ground. Lift up. Take your right hand to your left ribs. Exhale. Draw the left ribs to the right. Take your hand to the waistline. Draw the waistline around. And then you can place the right fingertips on the ground behind you. Lift the chest, twist the torso. And if it works for you, you could stretch the right arm straight out behind you at shoulder height. Twist the torso around, one more breath. And then inhale, put the right hand by the hip, turn the torso back to center. And now as you exhale, take the right leg across the left leg, so the left leg stays straight and pointing up. Keep your right hip down, and just draw the right leg across to the left some amount. Hold here for one more breath. And then inhale back to center, bend, and release. Stretch the right leg out straight. We'll do that all on the second side. So bend the left leg. Take the right hand across the top of the foot to hold the baby toe side of the foot. Have the left hand at your side. So inhale, lift the foot, stretch the leg straighter. And now take it out to the left. It's not going to go far because you've got the constriction of your right arm holding the foot. It's just a little bit. Lengthen a little bit more through the inseam of the leg, the left leg. And then bring the leg back to center. Lower it down so that the right arm is parallel to the ground. Lift the torso up. Lengthen the right side of the torso in particular. Take your left hand to your right ribs. Twist. Then take your left hand in line with the navel on the side of the torso. Twist. And then place the left hand fingertips on the ground behind you. Or lift it up to shoulder height and twist the torso more and more and more to the left. Turn the head. One more breath. And then put the left hand at your left hip. Turn the torso toward the legs. And now take the left leg across to the right. Ground the outside of the left hip down. Take the leg to the side, curl the center of the heart up, take the head back a little bit, breathe. One more breath here. And then inhale back to center, exhale, foot down. And now come over onto your hands and knees just to set up for downward facing dog. So move, supports. Place the hands shoulder distance apart. Spread out the fingers. Walk the knees back and lift up Adho Mukha Svanasana, downward facing dog. Breathe. And in the first breath or two, feel into the shape. And feel into the whole experience of the pose. And the adjustments and the alignments are in part to just deepen our connection to our whole body and the beingness, the whole complete form that we are. So press into the knuckles at the base of the first fingers, the heels of the thumbs. Slightly bend the elbows to the side and rotate the triceps toward the sides of the face. Pull the hips strongly back. Press the tops of the thigh bones back. Descend the heels toward the earth. One more breath. And then looking forward, inhale, walk the feet forward to your hands. Exhale, standing forward bend, Uttanasana. Bend the knees just a little bit. As you bend the knees a little bit, sink the weight down into the center of the heels and across the balls of the feet. Lift the center of the arches up away from the ground. And then keeping the feet placed like this, stretch the legs straighter and push the heels slightly apart. Hug the outer hips together. Peel back the low belly and stretch the crown of the head toward the ground. Feel into the whole complete form that is you. And recognize that there's nothing lacking. There's nothing that we need to look for outside to complete us. Bend the knees a little bit more. Put the hands on the hips, lift the chin. Inhale, come up. Exhale. Feet perhaps a little closer together, Surya Namaskar. So with the feet together, join the hand, or the feet placed, join your hands together at your heart. Lift the center of the heart up. So the first few rounds we're not going to do chaturanga because we're going to work a little bit on that position in the last couple of versions. So some of you will be very disappointed perhaps that there's not going to be 5 chaturangas. Release the arms to your sides. Inhale, circle the arms up overhead. Look up. Exhale. I'm tracing the midline of the body these days as I fold forward, so fold forward in whatever way makes sense. Inhale, fingertips on the ground or hands on your shins or ankles. Lengthen the front of the torso, look forward. Place the hands flat, exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, bring the shoulders over the wrist plank pose. Scoop up the muscles of the buttocks. Now just drop your hips down. Curl the center of the heart forward and up, upward facing dog. Lift from the hips, up and back, downward facing dog. Take a breath or two here. Slightly bend the elbows. Spin the triceps toward the sides of the face and really strongly pull the hips back. Look forward. Inhale, walk or lightly hop to your hands. Exhale, fold. Inhale, come all the way up, sweep the arms overhead. Exhale, hands at your heart. Inhale, circle the arms. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, half forward bend. Exhale, step or hop, downward facing dog. Inhale, plank. The low belly in and the buttocks firm. Drop the hips down, exhale. And now as you inhale, curl the center of the heart forward and up, upward facing dog. And then from here, lift from the hips, up and back, downward facing dog. Take a breath or two here.
Really significantly make sure that the elbows have a little bend. And then press the four corners of the hands down, the base of the first fingers, the heels of the thumbs, the base of the little fingers, and the outer corners and at the bottom of the palms. Pull the hips back. Look forward. Inhale, walk or hop. Look forward, exhale. Fold. Inhale, come all the way back up. Exhale, hands at your heart. One more like this. Inhale, circle the arms. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, half forward bend, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, Adho Mukha Svanasana. Inhale, plank. Exhale, drop your hips down. And then inhale, curl the heart forward and uplift the chin a little bit. Exhale, downward facing dog. Breath or two here. Micro bend the elbows so that all four corners of the hands can settle evenly into the ground. Then pull the hips strongly back. Spin the triceps toward the side of the face. And keeping the hips pulling back, feel the low belly drawing toward the back of the pelvis, maintaining that descend the heels. Look forward. Inhale, walk or hop up to your hands. Exhale, fold. Inhale, come all the way up. Exhale, hands to your heart. Inhale, circle the arms overhead. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, half forward bend. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, plank. And then exhale, bend your knees to the ground just for a moment. Scoop in the low belly, tilt the tailbone, and draw the shoulder blades strongly away from the ears. Now inhale, bring the torso forward so that the center of the heart is over the thumbs. And bending the elbows back toward the baby toes. Slowly lower the torso halfway down. Slide more forward, drop your hips. Inhale, cobra. Pull your hands toward your feet. Exhale, downward facing dog. Keep the elbows a little bit bent. Spin the triceps toward the face. Lift up all your toes. Press into the base of the big toes. And keeping the toes lifted, pull the hips strongly back. And then keeping the baby toe sides of the feet lifting slightly away from the ground. Settle your toes back on the floor. So you have more weight on the big toe sides of the feet than on the baby toe sides of the feet. Look forward. Inhale. Walk or lightly hop to your hands. Exhale, fold. Inhale, circle the arms out, come all the way up. Exhale, hands at your heart. One more like that. Inhale, sweep the arms out and up. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, downward facing dog, Adho Mukha Svanasana. Inhale, come forward into plank. So if you can do this with your knees off the ground, feel free. Otherwise, drop your knees to the ground, because I really want you to work on bringing the chest forward. So draw the shoulder blades away from the ears, scoop back the low belly, bring the shoulders forward so that the heart is over the thumbs, and then bending the elbows toward the baby toes. Slowly lower down, pause at some halfway point, and then come forward to drop your hips. Pull the hands toward the feet, curl the torso up, cobra. heels of the hands. Inhale. Lift up, press back, Adho Mukha Svanasana. Look forward. Inhale. Walk or lightly hop to your hands. Exhale, fold. Inhale, come all the way up. Stretch the arms overhead. Exhale, hands to your heart. Face the long edge of the mat and step the feet wide apart. Trikonasana, triangle pose. Turn the left foot in slightly. Rotate the right leg and foot out. Inhale the arms out to the sides. Push into your left heel firmly. Lift up a bit on the right side of the torso. And now with your next exhalation, stretch out. As you stretch out, hug your right hip underneath you and bring the torso along the back side of your right thigh. Hold your shin or ankle, stretch the other arm up. Press your back heel and the outside edge of your back foot firmly down. Plant the big toe side of your front foot and hug your right hip underneath you. Now, just like we did in the seated twist, take your left hand to your right ribs. Pull the right ribs out of the pelvis first, and then as you exhale, twist the center of the heart up. Pull the right ribs up. Do the same thing on the side of the torso in line with the navel. Spin that area around, and then take the head back, curl the heart up, and now re-stretch your left arm straight up in the air. Push into both heels. Inhale, come up. Release the hands, turn the feet, exhale. Second side, so spin the right foot slightly in, rotate the left leg and foot out. Inhale the arms to shoulder height. Push into the back heel, lift the left side of the torso up a bit, and now as you exhale, stretch out. As you reach out, hug your left hip underneath you so that your torso comes back. And then hold the shin or ankle, stretch the other arm up. Draw your left shoulder blade strongly away from your left ear. And keeping the legs strong and steady, take your right hand to your left rib cage. Pull the left side ribs away from the pelvis, and then use your hand to twist them up toward the sky. Keep the left shoulder blade down. Then take the hands to the side of the navel and turn there so that the torso rotates toward the sky. Take the head back a little bit. Lift the heart and then re-stretch the right arm up alongside the right ear. Press down into both heels. Inhale, come all the way up. Exhale, turn the feet, lower the hands, and then inhale, step the feet together. I may have to move my assistance. So we're gonna come right into revolved triangle next. So if that means have a block, and you have a block, then grab a block. If you have a block, you can put your hand on the inside edge of the right foot or hold the ankle or cross it over. So wherever you are, inhale, step the feet wide apart. And I'm actually gonna turn so that I'm facing the other way, so that when I come into the pose, I'm correct. So now spin your left foot in 60 degrees, rotate your right leg and foot out, and face the short edge of the mat. So move your right foot a bit to the right if you need to. Put your right hand on your right hip, inhale, stretch your left arm alongside your left ear. Lengthen all the way along the left side of the body. And now as you exhale, press your hips back. Hug your right hip in underneath you more. So your hips shift a bit to the left. Reach out, and then left hand to the inside, to the ankle, or to the outside edge of the right foot. From wherever you are, recognize that it's more about being attentive to the body and your process in the pose than attaining some form that's really quite arbitrary. So now wherever you are, push into the big toe side of your front foot, hug your right hip in. Press your left heel down. And then take your right hand to your left ribs. Pull them out twist around. Maybe turn the navel as well with your hand, and then stretch the right arm straight up. Curl the heart up, lift the chin. One more breath. Push into both heels. Inhale, come all the way up. Exhale, turn the feet, lower the hands. Second side. Spin the right foot in 60 degrees. Rotate the left leg and foot out. And adjust as you need to face the short edge of the mat. Put your left hand on your left hip. Inhale, stretch the right arm alongside the right ear. Exhale, shift your hips back. Come forward. As you come forward, hug your left hip in. So it's the same action as in Trikonasana. And then right hand down, inside ankle or outside the left foot. Wherever you are, plant your back heel. Push the big toe side of your front foot down and tack your left hip back and in. Then put your right hand on your left ribs. Pull out. Twist them around. Sorry, that's the left hand on the right ribs. I think you got that. Then maybe the navel as well with your hand. And then the other arm up. Here, curl the heart. Lift the chin a little bit. Twist as much as possible. And breathe. Pushing into your heels. Inhale, come up. Exhale, turn the feet. Inhale, step the feet together. Take a moment, and with the feet together, just tune in to the impact of these couple of poses on the body, on the mind, and on the breath. And remember that especially in these in-between moments, there's great opportunity to touch in to our wholeness, to our completeness, to soften and move away from any other ideas, concepts, internal monologues, and return to the cave of the heart and to the sense of the whole body and the complete breath. From here, extended side angle, Parivrtta Bakasana. Inhale, step the feet wide apart. Turn the left foot in, the right leg and foot out. Inhale the arms to the sides. Exhale, deeply bend the right knee. And as you bend the right knee, hug the right hip underneath you. Lift up a bit, and then as you exhale, stretch out. Take the torso on the back side of your right thigh and put the hand inside ankle or outside the foot. If it's more appropriate for you to rest on the thigh, do that. Wherever you are, bring your left hand now to your hip. Push into your left heel. Point your front knee over your middle toes. Take your left hand to the right side ribs. Lift them away from the hip and then twist them around. As you twist them around, curl the heart up and then stretch the top arm. Turn it toward the head. Lower it over the ear with the palm down. Heart up, head back. Twist the torso to the left. Push into your heels. Inhale, come up. Exhale, turn the feet, lower the arms. And then the other side. Turn the right foot in, left leg and foot out. Inhale, take the arms to the sides. Exhale, deeply bend your left knee. Lift up a bit, and then take whatever position you did on the first side. Put the right hand on the hip momentarily. Push down into your back heel. Point your front knee forward. Take your right hand, slide it in there somehow, and pull the left side ribs away from the pelvis and twist them around to the right. Descend the left shoulder blade. Then lift the heart, take the head back, stretch the right arm up, rotate the arm toward the head, Lower it over the ear with the palm down. Breathe here. And feel into the whole body in the whole pose. Push into your heels, inhale, come up. Exhale, turn the feet, lower the arms. Inhale, step the feet together. Right into revolved Parivrtta Bakasana. So we're going to keep the knee up and enter from standing. If you know that this means that you should have a block, have a block. But the first option is the hands in prayer position, and the second option is to touch the ground. Actually, the first option is to not cross. So anyway, I'll talk you through that. So, inhale, step or hop the feet really wide apart. Turn the left foot in, rotate the right leg and foot out. Turn the left foot in a little bit more than usual, like more that 60-degree stance. And then inhale the arms to the sides. Exhale, bend your right knee like you're doing warrior two. Spin around onto the ball of the left foot, lifting your left heel. Reach out. So you could simply put your left hand on the inside edge of the right foot, or hook the elbow and join your hands in prayer position, Anjali Mudra, or take the right hand down to the ground, left hand down to the ground. Wherever you are, make your back leg strong and straight. Bend your front knee and hug your right hip in. Now, you've got to dig your hands, for most of us, in between the thigh and the torso, and pull the left side ribs up. Twist the left side ribs around, and then take the head back, curl the heart up, lift the right arm up, maybe turn the arm toward the head and lower it over the ear with the palm down. Breathe. One more breath. Now as gracefully as possible, inhale, come all the way up. Exhale, release your hands. Second side, turn the right foot in, left leg and foot out. So left foot turns in more 60 degrees. Inhale the arms to the sides. Exhale, bend your left knee deeply. Spin onto the ball of the back foot, lifting the back heel, and then take whatever arm position you did on the first side. Those simple choices of whichever arm position to take are actually not simple in that they're asking us to be really present with a sense of wholeness and make a decision based on our completeness as opposed to some sense of lack or striving for something that is not present. Lift your back thigh, bend your front knee over your middle toes, and hug your front hip in. Now, digging your right arm, left arm, in along your right ribs. Lift the torso, pull the side ribs across, the right side ribs across to the left. Take the head back, lift the heart up. Stretch the left arm up, maybe rotate it, maybe lower it over the ear, palm down. Breathe. The more constricted the breath, here it is, the more you want to catch the whole breath as you come out. So now, using your legs in one motion, inhale, come all the way up. Exhale, lower the arms. Inhale, step the feet together. That's the standing poses for our practice today. So face the short edge of the mat. Separate the feet, hip bone distance apart. Take a deep breath in. Exhale. Tops of the thighs. Come all the way over. Bend the knees as you need to so that there's a bit of a rest here. With the fingertips on the ground. Make sure that the torso can really hang over the legs. So again, keeping the knees a little bit bent here might be useful for that. Relax the head. Become aware of that midpoint, halfway between the base of the pelvis and the spot about a foot above the crown of the head. And feeling into that area of your torso. Travel back slightly closer to the spine, to the front side of the spine, then to the chest. Hang out there. So that part of your awareness, part of your attention is always held there. Bend the knees, place the hands flat. Step or lightly hop back into downward facing dog. Again, bend the elbows a little bit. Press the finger pads down. Press the corners of the hands, so the base of the first fingers, heels of the thumbs, base of the little fingers, and the outer bottom corner of the palms. Spin the triceps toward the face. Maintain the slight bend in the elbows, and then pull your hips back. As you pull your hips back, the shoulder blades will lift a bit. Be totally okay with that. Now lift all of your toes. Glue down the base of the big toes and the inner heels, whether or not the heels touch the ground. And then, keeping the sense of the weight on the inner edges of the feet, release the toes and touch all of the toes to the ground. One more breath. And then exhale, bend your knees to the floor. And you're going to turn over and sit with the legs out in front of you. So just two, Ardha Navasana, half boat pose. So from here, turn your thighs in with your hands. Interlace your hands behind your head. If that's not working for your shoulders, you can keep the arms out in front as you roll back. So that would be the option. And you could do this with your knees bent if that's a better choice for your back. So now drop the chin toward the chest. If your hands are behind your head, have the elbows pointing not straight forward and not straight out to the side, but somewhere in between. And then slowly, letting your heels come with you, your legs come with you, roll back onto the back of the pelvis until the legs lift. Press out through the big toe sides of the feet. Curl the baby toe sides of the feet back. And inhale, pull yourself back up. Change the interlacing of the fingers, so only two. Here we go, drop the chin. Slowly curl yourself back. And as you curl yourself back, lift the heels. Push out through the heels. Inhale. Bring yourself back up. Exhale. Your hands down. And then lie on your back. Jatara, Parivrtta Bakasana. Here's a place you can put a blanket behind your head. If you have a blanket close by. And stretch the arms out to the sides with the palms turned up. Bend your knees, place your feet on the ground. Lift your hips up and shift your hips a bit to the right. So we're going to do not the full pose, but about a third of the way into the pose, so we hold it for longer without using the shoulders, the arms, or the jaw to keep the legs in place. So you can do this with the legs bent or the legs straight. So draw the knees toward the chest. Squeeze the knees together and either keep the legs bent like this or stretch the legs straight. Turn so that your knees face your left elbow. Keep the right shoulder down without effort. And exhale, take the legs about a quarter or a third of the way to the left, so that the right shoulder stays down without effort. My throat and jaw stay relaxed. Now, without rounding the lower back, draw the low belly in, and then twist as we've been doing. Turn the left sidewards. I can even use my hand for a moment to help with that. Turn the left sidewards up toward the ceiling and around to the right, and drop the right side of the ribcage down toward the ground. Lightly stretch out through the right hand. Inhale, bring the legs back up. Bend. Place the feet on the ground. Lift the hips up, shift the hips to the left. Draw the knees in. Keep the left shoulder down without weight bearing. With the knees to the left, with the hips to the left, the knees in. Squeeze the legs together. Either knees bent or stretch the legs straight. Turn to the right arm and then drop them over. Not so far, because you really want to keep the left shoulder on the ground without using the arm strength. Reach out through the big toe sides of the feet. Maybe use your left hand, maybe not, but definitely lift the right side of the rib cage up. The ground, and at the same time spin the left side of the rib cage down. Lightly stretch out into your left fingers. One more breath. Inhale the legs up. Exhale, feet on the ground. And then roll over to your right side and sit up. Bakasana, butterfly or cobbler pose. So bring the soles of the feet together and open the knees to the side. So perhaps sit on a blanket if your knees are a lot higher, but another option would be just to move the feet further away from the hips. With your hands, turn your thighs in. And then have your hands at your sides to support you. Push the heels together. Press the balls of the feet together and draw the toes back away from each other. Then, without rounding the lower back, so you're not shifting the pelvis stays upright, perpendicular to the ground. Hug the low belly in. As you hug the low belly in, now we're going to round the back, just like we did in Ardha Navasana half boat pose. And as you start to round the back, if it works for your body, you could hold your ankles and point your elbows straight back toward the wall behind you. Really go slowly here. It's not about getting your head to your feet. It's really about drawing the low belly in and letting the spine round and the head hang. So if we're working from a recognition of our innate wholeness, it's much more interesting to explore sensations than to strive to some idea of a finished pose. So as you explore, feel what happens when you push the heels together more. Feel what happens when you press the balls of the feet together. And now even lift the heels up a tiny bit off the ground so that the weight is more on the base of the baby toes and the outer edges of the feet right at the bottom of the baby toes. Rounding the back, Dip the head down. One more breath. So you'll uncurl your way up. So now as you inhale, uncurl your way up. Lift the head. Hold the knees with your hands, join the knees. And then from here, Malasana, squat. So my heels do not touch the ground. So I'm going to use a blanket to support the heels, because today I would like you to have your feet together. So some of you may not need the support for the heels. So have the big toes touching. A little bit of space between the heels. And then open the knees fairly wide, just like we did in Bakasana previously. And then take one hand, so take the left hand to the right ribs, and draw the right side of the torso through your right thigh. And then right hand, pull the left ribs through, and walk your hands out. Now, keep the low belly lightly drawn back, and then squeeze the knees in toward the sides of the bodies. The knees come toward the armpits. Walk the hands more forward. Now, take the hands wide out to the sides, so they come back toward the body a bit. Take them out to the sides. Reach the center of the heart forward. Squeeze the knees into the arms, and the arms into the knees. And draw the knees toward the armpits. So rather than having them reach toward the elbows, squeeze the knees toward the armpits. Either stay here or bend the elbows so that the palms face up, and then reach around, catch the back of the heels. And then round the back and bring the crown of the head toward the ground. Sit the low belly in. Squeeze the knees in toward the sides of the body, and press the tops of the shins against the arms against the shins. One more breath. Lift the head, release the heels. Inhale, come on up. Exhale, pause for a moment. So the next pose in the sequence is Bakasana, crow pose. So that's a balance on the hands. If you're not doing weight bearing in that way on the hands, or this doesn't feel like it's an appropriate choice for you, you can repeat this pose. So this is a really great prep. If you're doing Bakasana, it's a hard pose for me to talk in when I'm doing it, but I'll try. Today we want to have the hips as low as possible to the ground. And so that means the elbows are bent, and they're bent a little to the sides as well as back. So not tight in against the sides of the body, but more out like your wings, like your elbows, your arms are wings. So if you're doing Bakasana, come into a squat position, up. Your feet don't have to be right together. Take the arms, just like you did in the squat, in between the knees. Place the hands down. So have the hands wider than apart. Take the elbows out to the sides. Lift the heart. Now to come into the pose, you want to lift the hips the minimal amount. And then reach the heart forward. Lift one foot up and then the other. Keep the hips as low as possible. And the elbows bent. And then feet back down and release. So if that was working for you, one more time. Again, we're wanting to keep the elbows bent to the sides and a little bit back, so not forward bent, but out and back a little bit. And you want to do this with as much control as possible. So it's into the position and hoping that you'll balance, but it's working slowly with attention. So one last time, either squat or crow pose. So hands wide, elbows out to the sides and slightly back. Press the knees and the arms against each other, just like in the squat. Lift the heart up, throw the heart forward. And as you come forward, keep the hips as low as possible. now, I suggest that you sit on a little bit of support. We're going to do a couple of seated twists. So Parivrtta 1 and Parivrtta 3. So it might be good to have a blanket, especially for Parivrtta 3. It's not necessary, but it can be useful. So now sit with the left leg straight, right knee bent, and draw your right heel toward your right sitting bone as much as possible. Take the left hand behind you. Inhale, stretch the right arm up alongside the right ear and open the knee just like you did in the squat position. And as you open the knee, bring the torso more forward on the inside of the thigh. Then twist the torso to the left and put the right upper arm against the shin. So you can stay here, and depending on your shoulder joint, this might be a better option. Or you can stretch the arm straight, turn the arm so that the palm faces toward the wall beside your right knee, bend the elbow, reach around, and then take the left hand behind you and clasp. So if you're doing the bind break, if not, you're gonna work here. So now, if you've clasped, just release the clasp for a moment. Take your left hand to your right ribs, fist all the way around, and then turn the heart, and then take the left hand back to whatever position works for you. Make your left leg straight. Push your right heel down. Now as you inhale, lengthen the right side of the torso, and as you exhale, twist the torso around. Lift the heart, lift the chin. Inhale, come back to center. Exhale, unwrap, and stretch the leg out straight. Second side. Then the left leg. So right leg stays straight. Open the left knee to the left. Stretch the left arm up. Come through. So you're really opening the knee so that you can bring the side of the torso through the leg. And then hand in front, either elbow bent, and you're going to stay there. Or stretch the arm out, rotate the arm so that the palm turns out. Bend, reach back, clasp. So again, that's just for the positioning so you know where you're going to go. And then take your right hand to your left ribs, lift them up. Twist around, turn the head. Inhale, curl the heart up, lift the chin. As you exhale, twist to the right. Breathe. With each exhalation, maybe twist a little bit more. Keep part of your awareness in the center of the torso. And then inhale, come back to center. Exhale, release, stretch that leg out straight. And pause just for a moment here. And in the pause, tune in again to the movement of the breath, to the connection to the whole body, and to the space in the center of you. Parivrtta 3. Bend the right knee. Stretch the left leg out straight. Inhale, take the left arm up. So now you can wrap or hook the arm across the leg. So wherever you are, tip the knee toward the midline to wrap or hook. Slide your right hand between your left rib cage and your right thigh. Pull your left rib cage up and use your hand to help slide the rib cage across the right leg. Now bring the knee back upright and take the right hand behind you. If binding works for you here, and binding is easily available, feel free to bind. Wherever you are, lift the torso up, and now especially lengthen the left side of the rib cage. Twist the left side of the rib cage to the right. Move the head back. Turn the head. Lift the heart. Lift the chin. If you are not binding, so your right hand is on the ground behind you, just for a moment lift it up and see if you can maintain the shape without using your right arm. And then inhale, come back to center, unwrap, stretch that leg out straight. Second side, bend your left leg, keep your right leg extended. Have your left hand behind you, stretch the right arm up. Tip the knee this time in, and then come forward, wrap, or hook the arm across. Take the left hand now in between the right side ribs and the thigh, left thigh. And now use your hand to help create a little more mobility there. Twist around, and then reposition the left hand behind you. Bring the left knee upright, or if you're binding, do the bind before you bring the knee upright. Lift the heart, lift the head, twist the torso to the left. Turn the head, turn the gaze. Inhale, come back to center. Exhale, stretch that leg out straight. The next pose is revolved crow pose, Parivrtta Bakasana. So you could repeat Marichyasana 3 if the arm balance is not appropriate for you. Otherwise, move the blanket for a moment or put it in front of you if you need the crash pad. Come to a squat with the legs together and the heels up off the ground. Take your right arm at your right side for support. Lift the left arm up, hook it across the knee. Place the left hand down. Take the right hand out. So right here, before you do anything else, twist the navel strongly to the right and transfer weight onto your right hand. Walk the feet a little bit more forward and then lift the feet up. Squeeze the legs together. Twist the navel strongly to the right and push into your right hand. And then come down. Exhale. If it's helpful, it's very similar to the Jatara Parivrtta Bakasana, the side abdominal work that we did, where you spin the navel and the ribs away from the legs. So I hope that was helpful. Second side. So feet together, heels up. Inhale, right arm up. Exhale, hook across. Put the hand down. Line the left hand up. Now, again, before you do anything else here, twist the torso strongly to the left and put more weight into your left hand. Walk your feet a little bit more around to the right and then lift the feet up. Reach the heart forward. Breathe. And then exhale and come down. So we're going to try that one last time. And if you're not doing this, the other option is that you could do it now on your back. So you could lie down, drop your knees toward the right, lift the shoulders up, and stretch your hands out with your right arm alongside your left thigh near the knee. So that's another option if you're not doing the weight bearing work on the hands. And remember that those decisions are not indicative of whether you're whole or complete, that wholeness, completeness is innate inside us, and we're making these decisions based on what's appropriate for our body on any given day. So, second time. Our capacity to make shapes with the body is not reflective of our innate worth. And what we're wanting to do is disengage from that understanding, which is an understanding that we all have with embodiment, that we are insignificant, small, not worthy. And the process of the practice is we use these shapes to give us references to when those thoughts come up, and then we practice moving away from them and anchoring in the center of the heart or in the breath or in the sensations of the body, something that we can come to that takes us away from our attention with our thought stream. So left arm up and crossed over if you're not already on your way. Do something. Right hand down. Spin the navel to the right. Place weight on the right hand. Walk the toes around toward your left hand and then lift up. So the chest is very similar to chaturanga. Reach the heart forward and exhale down. Any amount of air is to be celebrated. And that includes if you're doing it on your back and you've got your shoulders up and you're really just balancing on the mid-back area. So any air here and any arm balance is celebration. So now right hand over left thigh, hand down, left hand out. Spin the navel to the left. Put weight into your left hand. Walk your toes toward your right and then up. Reach the heart forward. And exhale and come down. And let that go. So the pose is over. Wipe it clean in your mind. So we move on. So from here, let's take one downward facing dog. Inhale, and then exhale, somehow lie down on your stomach. So we're gonna do a supine shoulder opener. I don't do this a lot in teaching or in practice, but we're gonna do it now. So stretch the left arm out to the left with the hand slightly below shoulder height and the palm down. Take the right hand a little bit to the right, in line with the right shoulder, and bend the elbow. Place that palm flat. So now, roll to your left outer hip. Take your right leg behind you and bring the right foot to the ground. If you can get the sole of the foot to the ground, great. If not, toes or something. If it doesn't work behind you, put it in front of you. Put it on top of the leg, wherever it works. So we're doing this to release the shoulder from arm balance and the twist. So you can have your head on the ground or you can lift it up slightly. Reach your left hand behind you. Press lightly into your right hand and turn the center of the heart up. Good, one more breath. And then roll back to center. And then the other side. So stretch the right arm out at shoulder height. Palm down, just slightly below shoulder height actually. Bend the left hand. Roll onto the outside of the right hip. Take the left foot somewhere with the knee bent. Head on the ground or head up. Use your left hand lightly to invite the center of the heart to turn more up. to center. Prop yourself up on your elbows. And then swing your left forearm in front of you. So we'll do a thigh stretch next. So with the left forearm in front of you, lightly curl the heart up. If this is going to be too much for your lower back after the more rounded shapes, then bring your forehead down to your left forearm. Everybody bend your right knee. Reach back, catch your ankle. If you know that working from the inside edge of the foot is appropriate for you, then catch the inside edge of the foot and swivel the thumb and the first finger around at the base of the toes. The V between the thumb and the first finger around at the base of the toes. Draw your right heel either to your buttocks if you have the outside of the foot, or to the outside of the hip if you have the inside or the top of the toes. If your head is down, rest there. If your head is up, pull your forearm, your left elbow a little bit toward you. Curl the heart up. One more breath. And then very gently release. Come down. And then again, prop yourself up on your elbows. Swivel the right forearm in front of you. Rest your head on that if that's appropriate, or stay upright. Bend your left knee. Catch either the outside of the ankle with your hand, or hold the base of the toes using the V between the first finger and the thumb of the left hand across the base of the toes. Excuse me. Keep the weight even on both sides of the pelvis. Draw the heel down, the left heel down, and keep the left knee in a little bit. Pull the right forearm toward you, right elbow toward you, if your head is lifted. Breathe. And then exhale, release. Come down. We're going to do Parivrtta next. So come up to sit and swing your legs out in front of you. Take the hands several inches behind you and have the hands turned so that the fingers point out to the sides, or possibly around toward your toes a little bit. Make sure that the hands are wide, and as the elbows bend, point the elbows straight back toward the wall behind you. So not too in, not too out. You can do this with the knees bent or with the legs straight. We'll do two. So you could do one of each or both in either way. I'll do bent knees first and then straight legs. So wherever you are, lift the center of the heart up. And if this is the maximum weight bearing for your hands, then you just stay here, curl the heart up. If you're going further, push into your heels, lift your hips up, lift the hips up strongly, push the hands down, but keep a tiny bend in the elbows so the triceps are engaged. Lift the heart up, maybe lift the chin, maybe let the head release. Stretch the front of the body out. Inhale, and then exhale, hips down. Stretch the legs. So last one. And if that was enough for you, you could do bridge pose, Setu Bandha, as the back bend before Shavasana. So if the legs are straight, feet relatively together, lift the chest up. As you lift the chest up, lift the hips, slide the hips a bit forward toward your feet to bring the soles of the feet down, and then push and lift the hips. Lift the chest, lift the chin, maybe drop the head back. Micro bend the elbows, push into the hands, lift the hips. And then exhale, and bring the hips down to the ground. And then lie on your back, Shavasana. So support the backs of the knees as needed. Support the back of the head as needed. And make your way into a very comfortable, supported, resting position. So take a moment to really make sure here that you're spreading out well and that you have enough support to really come easily and fully into rest. Let the legs open some amount. Take the arms to the side. Make sure that you're rotating from the shoulder joint. Turn the whole arms up, or bend the elbows and lay the palms down. Close your eyes. One of the purposes of the asana practice, there are many, but one of the purposes is to kind of activate the energy systems so that we have more complete awareness. So yourself here. Allow your attention to travel through the whole body for a moment. And as you bring your attention through the whole body, relax those areas. So let the legs and the feet release. Let the arms and the hands release. Soften the torso, especially the belly. Completely relax all the muscles of the face. The jaw hinge. And soften the eyes. As your body gives in to gravity, bring your awareness to your breath. And with your attention, trace the inhale down and in to that space in the center of you, midway between the base of the pelvis and a point above the crown of the head. And let yourself anchor there. Even through subsequent. As the breath moves, so do the thoughts. So let the breath continue to move the thoughts across the skyscape of the mind. And hold yourself anchored in the cave of the heart. Place that is always full. Perfectly whole. Without needing anything to achieve that wholeness.
And anchor here, remembering that it's the turn in that we seek often when we're looking outside. Rest there. Very gently deepen your breath. With the next deeper breath in, one at a time, bend your knees, place your feet on the ground. Support the head with the right arm as needed, and then roll to your right side and pause well on your right side. And then using your left hand, press yourself up. Come to sit. Sit well for a moment. Close your eyes. With your eyes closed, feel into any sense of the complete whole body. Feel into your sense of the complete breath. and feel into any sense of fullness in the center of you. Whole body awareness, complete breath awareness, full heart awareness is the perfection of being that our practices are moving us toward. Join your hands together at your heart, and with the intention to hold a connection to our innate wholeness and to look within instead of turning and looking outside, we'll close with one Om. Inhale. Thank you. Namaste.